Peace and love, you beautiful miracles with a spiritual level of being. Nathan here from a spiritual level of being, and you have a spiritual level of being. And today we'll discuss the early criticism against Christianity. Now, the Romans, who didn't understand Christianity was a diverse religion, that there were many forms of Christianity, labelled them as conducting incest, being cannibals, eating children, drinking blood. They labelled them as a mystery cult, as an illegal religion, and antisocial. Now, they believed that the Christians were incest because they would call other Christians brother and sister. Now, because of the blood and body of Christ, the Romans believed that Christians were eating bodies and drinking their blood, and would form rumours of them eating children. Now, the Catholic Church would use these insults against other groups of Christians, such as the Gnostics. Now, Celsus, a 2nd century Greek philosopher and an opponent against Christianity, who wrote the True Word in around 177 AD, which is one of the oldest criticisms against Christianity. Now, he claimed that Christians were stealing other sources from other religions and other oral traditions and stories and claiming them as their own or mixing it in with their beliefs. Now, he also claimed that Jesus made up the virgin birth story and that he was an illegitimate child of a Roman soldier named Pantera of Phoenician origins. Now, this is what he actually wrote. Jesus invented his birth from a virgin and was disgracefully born in a certain Jewish village of a poor woman of the country who gained her subsistence by spinning. She was turned out of doors by the carpenter, to whom she'd been betrothed, having been guilty of adultery, and that she bore a child to a certain soldier named Pentara. But after being driven away by her husband and wandering about for a time, she disgracefully gave birth to Jesus, an illegitimate child who, having hired himself out as a servant in Egypt on account of his poverty, and having there acquired some miraculous powers on which the Egyptians greatly pride themselves, returned to his own country, highly elated on account of them, and by means of these proclaimed himself a god. Now, it would be wise to take these accounts with a grain of salt. The reason I say this is because Celsus also believed that Christianity would bring about the doom of society itself. He believed that it would bring about the collapse of the Roman Empire. So he was an opponent. I would say the same thing about the opponents against the Gnostics, as they're out to discredit. Now, in the 2nd century, a Roman proconsul of Asia named Arrius Antonius dealt with a Christian mob looking to be martyred, to be killed for their faith. He was annoyed with them, basically, and told them to go away. Now, he did have a few of them killed, most likely to calm down the mob, and told others to go away. He actually said, "This, O miserable men, if you want to die, you have cliffs and nooses." So basically telling them to go and kill themselves. So the Romans at the time seen the Christians as a nuisance, anti-political. So we have accounts of them being persecuted, accounts of them not being persecuted, exiled even. In some particular locations within the Roman Empire, only certain branches of Christianity were persecuted. So, peace and love everyone. I love you all. Connect to one minus all. Namaste.